Here's an update from the KSHB 41 Weather Center. All right, I think this pretty much picture says it all. There's the snowplows going on I-70 East very slowly with lots of traffic. There's been lots of accidents, and that is just the way it is. This is the Cable Dahmer Arena sky view at around 12 to 12:30 p.m. There in Independence, looking at I-70, and the I-70 eastbound is the one that is moving very, very slowly. And the heaviest snow as of now is moving out of the city in the darker blues there from Odessa to Warrensburg. And then there are other little bands and little heavier embedded snow showers within the lighter to moderate snow. The dark blue is about 1 inch of snow per hour rate, and then the lighter is about 1/4 to 1/2 inch, and the white is about 1/8 of an inch per hour rate. So you can see it's kind of a mixed bag on the rates there between now and the ending area, and I'll show you that here in a second. Of course, the snow, as we talked about, would stick from the very first flake for two big reasons. One, in the low 20s. Two, and it had been in the low 20s and for 25, 24, 36 hours prior to the snow. Also, actually, there's three reasons. Three reasons, actually not two. We had the low temperatures. It started before sunrise, so no sun. And now that the sun is up in March, we would probably see some melting. But from the end of November to the early part of February, the sun angle is so low that it doesn't really help much, especially when it's in the low 20s. And then as far as melting the snow, it's very hard this time of year because first, north-facing surfaces don't see any sun this time of year. So even if it's in the 30s and 40s, it's hard to melt. It's a lot of melting and refreezing. So as we can see there and put this into motion, the snow is moving to the east at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. Up to the northwest corner here as of about 12 to 12:30, it was ending in the northwest corner of Missouri and mounts up there a little less. And down to the south, where you get towards Paola, south of Paola, Iola, Chanute, Clinton, it really hasn't snowed much in the morning, but they'll get about 1 inch of snow as the band, everything starts to move off to the east. Where is the back edge of the snow? It is very evident here at midday around Salina, approaching Manhattan, and it is simple division. We know how fast it's moving at about 35 miles per hour, so it will end in Lawrence by 4:09, in Parkville by 4:37, and Liberty 5, Plaza 5:05. And so between 3 and 5 p.m., it will end to the east, leaving a very slick condition overnight. Power cache shows us pretty well. At 2, 3, 4 o'clock, it's moving through. Now, we may have a snow shower or two lingering into the evening. We're not expecting any accumulation from that. Then tonight, it'll try to clear out. And if it does, it could lead to some patchy, dense, freezing fog. What does that mean? Well, it's just dense fog with temperatures below freezing, so that if we didn't have any slick conditions on roads, it could get slick. That misty fog would freeze on contact. If you have cleaned your car off from the snow and you decide you want to park it outside and there's freezing fog, it'll have an extremely thick layer of frost, almost ice on it in the morning. Then it will burn off and the sun will come out and the wind will turn to the south. And we will get into the low to mid 30s here tomorrow, which will help melting. But remember, low sun angle. And then tomorrow night into the 20s. And I'm going to talk about what happens after the snow coming up in a minute. But our storm becomes a huge storm in the eastern part of the country. You are going to Boston, Philadelphia, New York. There will be flight delays for sure. Look at the snow just inland of the big cities, 5 to 10 inches of snow, with New York City and Boston maybe in the 1 to 5 inch category. So yeah, quite a mess. And around here, these are not additional snow. This is the total, about 2 to 4 inches, basically from Highway 36 in northern Missouri to just south of I-70, including Kansas City, 1 to 2 in far northern Missouri, and you get down to Garnett, Butler, Clinton, about a dusting to an inch. But keep in mind, even the dusting, or 1/4 of an inch of snow, will be slick because it sticks from the very first snowflake. If you notice today when it snowed, it was already covering the pavement, and the grass hadn't been totally covered because it just stuck immediately to those paved surfaces and wasn't deep enough to cover the grass. What is next? Well, on Wednesday, we'll be in the 30s. But watch this. A little Arctic front comes through, and oh my, it is going to drop and drop and drop to around 10 on Thursday morning, if not lower than that. That's not a misprint. 16 below zero in Des Moines. Remember, they have a lot of snow on the ground up there, and we could be colder than 11. This could be conservative, because you can see northern Missouri, even Kirksville, -6. So yeah, that is a pretty good shot of Arctic air, but it should start to exit on Thursday. We get into the 20s, and then some 30s and 40s after that. But there are little shots of cold air we have to watch. And are there any more chances of snow? Well, I'll show you here in a second. There is one possibility. So for the rest of today, around 25, the snow ends at 3 to 5, 2 to 4 inches widespread with a light wind. And then tonight, 15 to 20, a clearing sky. Chance of some freezing fog and that slick road conditions. Slick tomorrow morning. Maybe a little improvement during the day, but watch for refreezing after 3 or 4 p.m. And on the super 10-day forecast, at 25 today, 35 tomorrow, 36 Wednesday for a while, then down to 10 Thursday morning, 24 Thursday afternoon. And we will be watching Friday and Saturday. It warms up, but there's a system over the weekend along another little shot of colder air that could bring some rain or snow, or a little of both. And then it starts to warm up a little bit more consistently by the middle and end of next week. Have a great rest of your day, week ahead. Stay safe, drive carefully, stay healthy.